The 2015 AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series is about to get underway, with memories of 2014 in the rear view, as Chris Boarich and Walker Fowler took it down to the final turn of the season to determine the championship. What will happen this year? It starts next. It's a tradition now, more than 20 years old. We head down to the Sunshine State of Florida to open the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. The swamplands and sandy terrain is a constant no matter where we go in Florida. We're actually back in Palatka, same place we raced about 10 years ago, but they do have some new land here, which promises to be a little bit higher and drier than the super mud fest that we had back in 2003 and 2004. Riders seem to like the track from what they've seen, and they're all fired up. You've got Walker Fowler here on the number 2, the NFAB AmPro Yamaha. So close to the championship last year, lost it by about the length of a wheel to Chris Boarich. The always spectacular Adam McGill, crazier than ever apparently for the new year. Whoa, not to be outdone, Jared McClure, the JMR ATV machine. That's a little out of character for him. But now it's all business. Ricky Towery, our official starter, and Rodney Tomlin, our live event announcer, get racing started.
10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at our Moose Racing.
That's right, Rodney. Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC, and McGill, he can goon ride it, he can grab hole shots. All Ball Racing Hole Shot Award goes to him on his familiar number 521, but don't let the number fool you. He was third in the championship last year and won a race, so he's very, very capable of winning if he gets the start. Last year, actually, McGill did not get good starts when the year began, so this has got to feel good for him as he leads them through the sandy trails of Florida. Jay Shadron, Chris Bithell with good starts early. But bad start, by the way, for Chris Boarich and Walker Fowler. Your guys we expect to be battling for the championship this year are way back. And that's actually Boarich right there. He has made a huge move. He has switched that number 1 plate from his familiar Suzuki ride to a Yamaha this year. He's now part of the factory Yamaha team, and we'll see how quickly he can adjust to his new mount. In the meantime, McGill, backed by CST, Lone Star, and DeRisi Racing, getting away. And the riders just getting a feel for this track right now. Like we said, we did have a race on the same property about 10 years ago, but we used a different part of the property, so this is all new. We used to also hold practice days at the Florida Opener. We stopped doing that last year. So everybody can get down here and just go racing and then move on to the next event a week from now in Georgia. Riders really wear themselves out in the rough sand. You can see it's a little bit whooped out early. Shadron still in second, but this section will get so much worse by the end of this 2-hour race. Bryson Neal there bouncing through. And then the Suzuki you're seeing is Bithell, and here comes Boarich. Really hard to get used to Boarich on a Yamaha. 6 consecutive GNCC titles and counting perhaps, but all of them won on his familiar Suzuki LTR 450 quad racer. Now going over to the Yamaha program, they backed him with a factory effort. Suzuki no longer actually manufactures that 450 quad that Boarich was racing. Now, he supposedly had a warehouse that would be the envy of many with a lot of old Suzuki parts there, and he just kept buying machines and building them because that's what he was familiar with. This year decided to switch to the Yamaha. We'll see how quickly he can adapt. That's Bithell. And I believe Fowler is actually, that's Boarich behind him, and Fowler is right in this pack as well. So no cause for alarm in a 2-hour race. You can make up time. But man, they're going to have to make up a lot on McGill. And McGill has his days, man. When he gets rolling, as you see Shadron in second, but when McGill gets rolling and is out front, he is a thing of beauty to watch. He uses momentum so well, and I've noticed this with this guy for a good 8 or 9 years now. As you see the rest of the pack come through, that is Fowler right here. So like I said, he's at the tail end of that group, and they're all together except for McGill. But what he does so well is you'll see him hit a section, and you think, uh-oh, he's going to crash, he's going to have problems, and he'll just handle it no problem. He just uses that momentum, and I like to say that McGill's style, it's meant to do that, meant to do that. No, I wasn't going too fast in that section. That's exactly how I wanted to handle it. He is really fun to watch when he's out front on his own. At least if you're watching here on your computer screen. If you're competition, you got to figure out a way to get this guy to slow down. He's getting away here in Florida. RacerTV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. It's the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC from Palatka, Florida. I'm Jason Weigandt, giving you the call here. 13 straight years I've been calling the action for these GNCC races on your screen. Adam McGill continues to lead. Jay Shadron, Chris Bithell up to third. Then it's Neal, Borich, and Fowler. That appears to be the fast pack today. The win will come down to one of those riders, I would think. Everyone else pretty far back there. Well, honestly, they're all pretty far back compared to McGill. He is just gone. Got that Lone Star Honda dialed in. And like I said, just a momentum man. When he's rolling, it's just like the speed never slows down. He's got one speed, and he's able to take it through the corners, do the rough stuff, and just let the machine work underneath him. Going to be interesting this year. You see the left side of your screen. That is Shadron, second year in this XC1 Pro class. We had a lot of talk last year about the young kids starting to make strides. Still podium and top 3 finishes were rare for them. None of them able to get a win last year, but they were definitely showing, at least early in the races, they could run the pace. We figure they will all improve here. For example, Shadron in year 2 putting up a good fight, although it looks like Bithell has gotten around him. Bryson Neal, another one of those young kids, ahead of Borich and Fowler. So that'll be something to watch. The likes of Neal, maybe Landon Wolf is another fast kid, Shadron, all trying to show now that they can not just run with the veterans like McGill and Bithell, Borich, and Fowler, but they can beat them. And that's standard fare, by the way, for McGill as well. Pumping his fist while leading the race. He and Fowler, they like to do that. They have a good time, even though this is obviously very serious racing, and it is how they make their living. Oh, it is tightening up here for second, third, fourth, fifth. Look at this pack. Take McGill out of the picture, and you think we have a torrid battle for the lead. And Borich looks pretty solid, by the way, on the Yamaha. Looking to make a pass right now on Shadron. Or actually, sorry, that was Neal he's looking to make the move on. Now, from what I've heard, Borich has toyed around with the Yamaha for a long time. Never actually raced one, but he's been on them before. Never fully committed to it, but he's tested different machines through the years. But now, he has decided to make the switch. And he's on his game. Here he is with the red helmet. He's got Fowler right behind him with the black. But still, they're going to have to hustle. We're halfway through a 4-lap race in Florida. No one has made any inroads at all on Adam McGill. RacerTV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Welcome back to the show. It is the Adam McGill Show today from Florida. Kid out of West Virginia, not far from the Ohio River, just handling this sand like it's his backyard. And there's a lot of riders who have spent a lot of time down here training specifically for this sandy race, but McGill is trumping them all. Chris Borich moving up. No, that's Fowler. He has gotten around Neal. He's gotten around Borich. Borich at the back of this train. And we have seen the likes of Fowler and Borich back in the pack early in the races and then make their moves late, but you can't do that. Can't wait too long, especially not with the likes of McGill out there. Now, normally you can save maybe some energy by holding back early, but I think the pace is so comfortable for McGill, I don't think he's really burned himself out leading this thing. There's Bithell now a solid second. He has broken away just a bit. keep the radar out. Wow, this is a big gap he has built. Fowler is third on the NFAB AMPRO Yamaha. Then it's Neal, then it's Borch. So the rider we've lost from that front pack is Shadrin on the Coastal Yamaha. He was second early. So let's see if Bithell can make a run at McGill. At the end of lap 2, Bithell about 36 seconds behind McGill. And I think it's a little bit closer than that. But in this rough terrain, you're going to have a little ebb and flow, 4 or 5 seconds here and there. That's just the nature of the game. I don't know if anyone's making a true march toward your leader. These races have a way of tightening themselves up down the stretch. Man, McGill looks good right now. Perfect form on this rough stuff, and that's really the key. He's really working the machine a lot with his legs. You can try to fight it with your arms, but 2 hours with a 400-pound ATV over this terrain, you will wear yourself out. So while it looks like they're sitting down, you see they're kind of hovering, letting the machine work underneath them and really using their legs to muscle it around and absorb most of the impact. Oh, and the Yamaha riders have hooked it up. Borch has gotten around Fowler, so a nice little rematch. And if this is any indication, Borch definitely knows how to work that Yamaha. Early test for him, and he's made the pass on his championship rival, so well done for your 6-time champion. And now it looks like Fowler has gotten back around, and they've gotten past Borch. Neal hanging right there. Oh, you see what I'm talking about. I said at the opener of the show how much rougher the track would get, and now they're just slamming the machines down. This is Fowler, and he is putting together a big charge now. So difficult when this track is so rough. But he's gotten away from Borch, McClure, Neal, Shadrin, Bithell, everyone else who is potentially in this one. Fowler has broken away from them. He is going to try to run down McGill with a lap and a half to go. Good job by Neal, though, staying in the hunt. So, will it be a fantastic finish? Will it all come down to the last lap? Or will McGill's lead hold up and will he win it wire to wire? Stay tuned. RacerTV is brought to you by AMSOIL. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. All right, big test right here for Adam McGill. He has dominated this race all day long. But Walker Fowler here in second is going to try to make a run at him on the last lap. And unbelievable, did you see the speed of Fowler through that section? Man, I thought McGill was on the gas early, but that was something special. And it has allowed them to break away. Chris Borch solid here in third. He'll take the points, but I don't think he has it in him to go after Fowler today. Now, this is a mud hole section here for McGill. Got to be careful. I don't think it's bad enough to get stuck, but even if you get held up a little bit, every second could potentially count with Fowler trying to breathe down his neck. And are we close enough to get them in the same camera shot? Yes, we are. I mean, it looks like darn fast forward for Fowler. That's a lap rider first, and here comes Fowler on the number 2. Now, in the old days, these riders treated the Florida race as kind of a warm-up. None of them really specialize in the sand. Most of the racing this year will be done on dirt, rocks, clay, and in the hills. And they come to Florida and just want to survive and get podium points. But last year, the title was so close, it was literally a tie at one point between Fowler and Borch. So Fowler knows as well as anyone that the 5-point differential between winning today and finishing second could make all the difference in the end, and I think he's going to dig for it. He's not going to just settle for second. Oh, but still a long way to go. I don't think he's made up much ground. McGill is just so quick today. But there is always an X factor in these races, and that's traffic. Lap traffic is going to be at its worst at the end of the race, and you can't get around those guys when you're in tight woods like this. You catch them at the wrong spot, and you just have to wait. And you can actually see, well, luckily, Fowler had that rider pull over for him, but you can see how difficult it could be. Borch finding a nice new line through there. That's totally legal. You have to be within 25 feet of the course arrows. And he was. Wait a minute! It is not over, and a look over the shoulder from McGill. Must have made a mistake back there or got hung up behind another rider, because all of the work that McGill has put in all day long, it has evaporated because Fowler is now right there. And we are indeed going to have that fantastic finish. Now, I do think this is a points ride for Borich in third. It's more the way they used to do it. Brand new machine for him. He'll take third. He'll take the points. He's fine with it. Fowler is obviously on a different mission. He wants to win today, and he wants to win bad. But, oh man, if you're Adam McGill, you don't want to lead every inch of this thing. From the all balls whole shot award all the way down to the final mile of the last lap and then lose it. Well, he's pulled it back out a little bit. Had that look over his shoulder, and maybe he knew that Fowler was coming. Also, we hear that Fowler is kind of trying to keep it under the radar, but he had a little bit of an illness coming into this race. So does Fowler have the endurance to run McGill back down again? Borich solid in third. We're coming down to the finish. It's getting frantic. Fowler's actually in the lead now. Split line. Here they come, almost together. Finish line right after this. And Fowler is going to steal the victory in Florida. And he collapses here at the finish line. McGill not happy about throwing that one away, and probably confused as well as they attend to Fowler. Borich taking third. I think he's just exhausted. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com results. Neal and Bithell top 5. McClure salvages 6. Shadron, Wolf, Yoho, and Johnny Gallagher round out the top 10. Let's catch up with your race winner.
I've had the flu most of the week and just not really feeling up to it at the beginning of the race, but you know, you just kind of have to block it out, and it's tough for sure. Really struggled at the beginning of the race, and then a couple of things, you know, went my way, and when the opportunity arises, you got to take it for sure. And you know, I hate not being able to get up on the podium and not thank everybody that needs thanked, but I think there comes a point when your body tells you to stop. No asthma attack, nothing like that. I just, everything cramped up. I'm just really dehydrated, so I'm just happy it's over.
AMSOIL race recap here, and yeah, by the way, Fowler had to send his mechanic, Mark Notman, up to accept the trophy on the podium. He couldn't even stand up. Early on, well, Adam McGill was the one standing up and shouting. He led 3.5 of the 4 laps here, was just dominating. Here he is on the first lap, getting away from Jay Shadron and the rest of the field. Bryson Neal up there, Chris Bithell. Late in the race, Chris Borich, Walker Fowler make a charge. Fowler gets all the way to the rear wheels of McGill, makes the pass. That's his dad, by the way, telling him to go inside. It paid off. He takes the win. Heart for him, heartache for McGill. That's our race. See you next week.